Hey Cider pals, Max here from Hawks again. How y'all doing? Hopefully doing pretty well. I'm back again to talk some more cider with you guys. So today we're going to talk about yeast selection and we're going to talk about measurements. Now, if you remember from our first video, we didn't have a lot of choice when it came to yeast selection because we were using things found readily in the cupboard, and most people don't typically keep a lot of different wine yeasts in their cupboard. Some of you might, great, but for those of you that don't, that's okay, you can keep using the baker's yeast, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the different kinds of strains you can use when making cider. So all the yeast that I'm going to talk about today is still Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It's the same scientific name as baker's yeast. The difference is that these yeasts have been developed for different purposes. So there are yeasts that have been developed for Pinot Noirs, for American Red Ales, for IPAs, for cider sometimes, Sauvignon Blanc. So they all have different characteristics to them. So some of them are very good at fermenting in high temperatures or low temperatures. Some are good in high sugar environments or low, high alcohol content, low alcohol content. It all depends on what we're trying to do, right? So I picked out a few different strains to talk about. And I'm going to start with kind of one of the most widely used yeast strains out there, done by Lalvin, which is part of Lallemand, the European company, I believe French, and is very, very common. So they're one of the big names in cultured yeast. So EC1118 is a champagne yeast. It's very, very strong, and it really it helps stuck fermentation. So fermentations that have stopped. It has a wide range of temperatures that it tolerates, so it can be used basically for whatever you want. It creates really kind of clean, fairly neutral aromas, so it's really good to make like a base cider, which is what we call cider that's just used for blending with other liquids and flavors potentially. EC1118 champagne yeast, it's excellent. D47, another white wine yeast, is very, very neutral. So this is very common when you're using it for aging in barrels because it doesn't give a lot of characteristics of its own. What you want when you're barrel aging is to take the flavor from the barrel. So this yeast strain really helps enhance the characteristics of a barrel or any other aging vessel you might use, maybe ceramic, wood, other kinds of wood, depends. So D47, again, Lalvin, another great yeast to use. A little less vigorous than the champagne yeast, but it will ferment just fine. It's still cultured, it's still strong. We have here a Borgovin RC212, which is a red wine yeast, very common in the production of Pinot Noir. And the reason it's used in red wine yeast is it helps retain the color. So if you have quite a dark cider, it can be useful for that. It also helps to enhance the tannin characteristics. So in a Pinot Noir or a Cabernet Sauvignon, you're going to have a lot of bitter tannins in there. So this is really useful in the cider world. If you have a West Country apple that's full of tannins, right, very bitter, this is what you're going to want to use, or something similar, right? Red wine yeast is absolutely great to use if you want to enhance tannin characteristics. And last but not least, I have here a rarity in the past, but becoming more common, is a cider-specific strain of yeast. This is Saf cider, and this is great for getting a nice clean cider at the end. The reason it's cider specific is cider has a very, very low pH, right? Usually between like 3 and 3.5-ish. And so it's very acidic. And this yeast is very tolerant of high acid environments. So if you can get your hands on cider yeast, definitely do it. If not, any one of these three will work just fine. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And if you're going to do lots of batches, try them all out, give it a go. Not a big deal. Fill this up. Alrighty. see here, 31.3. A couple degrees above or below is going to be all right. So now it's time to measure out our yeast. So we've chosen Saf cider for this. So Saf cider is Safa's cider-specific strain of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It's developed from various strains of French champagne yeasts, and it's very, very good fermenter of low pH juices, like apple juice, which is perfect because that's what we're doing today. So here on the package, it says dosage 5 grams in 20 to 30 liters. So we have lots and lots to play with, right? So 5 grams in 20 liters, we have about 2 liters. So we need about 1/10, so about half a gram, but it's okay to have a little bit more. So we'll put in about 1 gram for our 2 liters. And I've said 1 to 2 grams per liter before, so it's a little bit more never hurt. So here we go. Saf cider. Got 1 gram there. Yeah, it's right on target. I'm gonna sprinkle this over top here. All right, doom. Give it a little stir. It's getting active. So, as it turns out, I added a little bit too much water at the beginning, which is all right, not a problem. Just means that I don't have any space for when I add juice. So, got myself another cup here. Easy. Dump it in here. Now we got plenty of space for adding the juice when the time comes.